In this video, we're going to look at the double angle formulae. Now, double angle formulae are just special cases of the addition formulae. They turn out to be massively useful. We're going to be using them over and over and over again in the rest of this course. Okay, so what are the double angle formulae? Well, they're just this. They are sine 2a, cos 2a, and tan 2a. That is sine of 2 times something, cos of 2 times something, tan of 2 times something. Why would we particularly care about this? Well, it's hard to see that immediately, but the further we get through the course, the more you'll see that these equations are going to help us solve all sorts of interesting things, particularly in calculus. So sine of 2a, well, one way to think about this is just sine of a plus a, and then we can just use our sine addition formula, but instead of a plus b, it's just a plus a. So what is that? Well, sine of something plus something is sine a cos b, except our b is just a, plus sine of this one cos of this one. Okay, well that's just the same thing twice, so that is just 2 sine a cos a. And that is the double angle formula for sine. We do the same trick for cos. We just think of it as being cos of a plus a. So what's our addition formula for cos? Well, it's cos a cos b minus sine a sine b. It's just here we've got a and a. So it's cos a minus sine a sine a. So cos a, that's cos squared a, and minus sine a, which is just sine squared a. Now, in a moment, I'm going to go through some other versions of this, but for now, there is our double angle for cos. And for tan, well, we think of that as tan a plus a, and we use our tan addition formula, which is tan of a plus tan of b, it's just tan of a here, divided by 1 minus tan of a times tan of a, which can be simplified as 2 tan a divided by 1 minus tan squared a. So here are our double angle formulae. I'm just going to look at the cos one because there are actually 3 versions we use of it. This is one. It's actually the one we probably use least. The other ones are this. Suppose I changed that sine squared x. Have a look at this. Cos of 2a. And I kept the cos squared a at the front. And then I subtracted not sine squared a, but 1 minus cos squared a. Because remember, sine squared a is the same as 1 minus cos squared a. I then get cos squared a minus minus, so plus cos squared a. So that's 2 cos squared a minus 1. So that's another formulation of it. Another one is this. Suppose instead that I changed the cos squared a to a sine squared a by doing 1 minus sine squared a instead of this cos squared a, and then I still had the minus sine squared a here. What that leaves me with is 1 minus sine squared a minus another sine squared a, so minus 2 sine squared a. So what you need to remember with cos double angles is that there is 1, 2, 3 formulations of it. They all have different uses. For example, if you need to turn cos 2a into some function of cos, you're going to be using this one. If you need to turn it into some function of sine, it's this one. And if you need something with both, or even something that factorizes, because notice that this is sneakily the difference of 2 squares, well, that's a formulation. So 3 versions. It can be tricky to see which one to use, but we'll practice that a lot. Okay, there are the double angle formulae. Let's use them. So, given that sine x equals 1/4 and x is obtuse, can we find the exact value of sine 2x? Well, sine of 2x is 2 sine x cos x. So I know what sine x is, it's a quarter, but what's cos x? Well, we use our little trick that we've used in the past, which is to say, I know that sine x is a quarter, so sine squared x is 1 over 16, and cos squared x is 1 minus sine squared x, which is 15 over 16. Which means that cos x is plus or minus the square root of this. But is cos x positive or negative? So is it the positive square root of 15 over 16 or the negative one? Well, here's the clue. X is obtuse. So if I think about the cos graph, I know that cos x is positive between 0 and 90 and then negative between 90 and 180, and that region there, those are our obtuse angles. So it's negative. So it's minus root 15 and the square root of 16 is 4. So this is 2 times sine x times cos x, which is root 15 over 4. So in total, well, 2 times a quarter is a half, so half of this, so that is minus root 15 over 8. So there's an application of the double angle formula for sine. How about this one? Given that cos x equals 2/3, where x is reflex, so between 180 and 300, find the exact value of tan 2x. All right, well, let's first use our expansion of tan 2x. So tan 2x is 2 tan x over 1 minus tan squared x. So I better work out what tan x is. Well, to work out what tan x is, I'll need to know what sine x over cos x is. So I know what cos x is, so what's sine x? Well, if cos x is 2/3, then cos squared x is 4/9, which means that sine squared x is 1 minus 4/9, which is 5/9. So sine x is the square root of that, but is it the positive or negative square root of it? Well, x is reflex. And what can we say about the sine graph? Well, between 0 and 180 it's positive, and for our reflex angles between 180 and 360 it's negative. So sine of x must be negative, so we're looking at the negative square root of 5 over 3. Okay, now that I know what cos x is and sine x, I know that tan x is sine x over cos x. So sine x is minus root 5 over 3 divided by 2 over 3. And what's that? That's minus root 5 over 2. So now that I know what tan x is, I can work out what tan 2x is. So we've got 2 tan x. So that is 2 times this, which is just negative root 5, divided by 1 minus tan squared x. And when I square this, I get, well, it goes positive, and I get 5 over 4. Okay, so what's that? That is minus root 5 divided by minus a quarter, and that is 4 root 5. And there's the exact value of tan 2x when cos x equals 2/3. Pretty neat. Okay, one more little application to look at. If x is sine t minus 1 and y is cos 2t, can we express y in terms of x? This is really a little preview of a future topic called parametric equations, which we will come to in time, but look how we can use double angles for this. If I want to express y in terms of x, what I can do is I can think about alternative ways of expressing cos 2t. Now, since I've got something to do with sine t over here, I could say that cos 2t, the formulation that I want is 1 minus 2 sine squared t, right? That's just one of the cos double angles. Now, can I express sine t in terms of the stuff over here? I can, because look, x plus 1 is sine t, but I've got sine squared t here. That's all right. Sine squared t is x plus 1 squared. So what I can say is that y is 1 minus 2 sine squared t. And I could neaten this up if I wanted, but I'm just going to leave it like that. So express y in terms of x, and I've done it. There's y in terms of x. So there are a few different applications of double angles. We're going to look in the next few videos at how to solve equations and prove identities using the double angle formulae. I'll see you there.